What is actually healthy but people think is not? Story 1. Frozen fruits and vegetables. The modern flash freeze technique preserves almost all of the nutrients, and they are always picked when they are in season, so they are as nutritious as their fresh in-season counterparts, and more nutritious if it is not the season. Story 2. Doing literally nothing to decompress. Sometimes one just needs to breathe and look out a window. Story 3. Admitting when you don't know something. It's okay to not have the answer. Too many people would rather bullshit an answer than accept what they don't know. Story 4. Fat in foods. Avocados, nuts, etc. While being calorically dense, can, should, and need to be part of a nutritious diet, weight loss, a fat loss plan. Not only do they satiate, they are essential for one's brain, have so many benefits you can Google, and actually aid metabolism function. Story 5. Shocked that no one has said potatoes. They're one of the healthiest foods we know of, packed full of nutrients and vitamins and carbohydrates. They're nearly enough to live off of entirely on their own. It's the oil we cook them in that's the unhealthy part. Story 6. I'm looking for the answer pizza. Can anyone please tell me it's healthy? Edit. So many people making their own pizzas and they all sound amazingly healthy. Thanks for the suggestions. You're all an inspiration. Story 7. Nuts. Specifically, unsalted nuts. Many PPL think they're not healthy because they only look at calories, but they're high in healthy fats, fibers, vitamins. So good to eat 1 or 2 hands per day of them. Sure, not the whole bag at once. Story 8. Sport during pregnancy. Actually, a lot of things are healthy during pregnancy. There's just too much misinformation. If your doctor explicitly says no sport, then yes, do that. But if doctor says okay, then go ahead. Story 9. Silence. We've gotten so used to noise pollution, real silence has become anxiety-inducing. Silence improves sleep, helps your brain process what you're learning, reduces stress, lowers blood pressure, the list goes on. Story 10. Screaming. If you're frustrated, you can scream. You can go somewhere where no one can hear you. Screaming is better than taking your frustration out on others. Story 11. Maintaining work boundaries. A lot of oldies and bootlickers would immediately gang up on you and call you lazy, and have poor work ethics for even thinking about working only during your paid hours and utilizing your PTOs. Story 12. Any type of herbal medicine, like telling someone to drink tea instead of soda, and they act like that's the stupidest shit they've ever heard in the world. Lemons and honey won't cure cancer, but it sure as hell ain't hurting your cold. Edit. Many people are pointing out that the opposite take, absolutely no doctors or modern healthcare, is just as bad, and it is. Those types of people are evidently the source of the stigma around living healthier lifestyles. I still get into arguments about eating fruit versus eating candy. Story 13. Organic soy. People think it puts estrogen into your system when actually, soy contains phytoestrogen, a plant estrogen, that doesn't affect humans. In fact, organic soy prevents diseases like breast cancer and is a great protein and calcium source. Story 14. Salad dressing. The vitamins in leafy greens are oil-soluble, and if you don't include one, you don't get the full benefit of your leafy greens. Story 15. Strength sports. It got better, like way better. But even when I started around 2009 with 14 years back then, people who probably couldn't finish an EKG were telling me up and down how dangerous going to the gym is, and I couldn't list all the problems I'm going to get. Add whey protein on top of the mix, and you got a lot of obese hobby nutrition scientists telling you that your kidneys are going to fail, while their body doesn't even remember anymore what an insulin spike even feels like. Story 16. Eating fat. For decades, dietary fat has been vilified as the main culprit behind weight gain and health problems. Low-fat diets were promoted as the key to good health, and many people began to fear fat in all its forms. However, recent research has shown that not all fats are created equal, and that some types of fat are actually essential for optimal health. Here's why eating fat can be healthy, despite common beliefs. Essential for brain function. Our brains are largely composed of fat, and we need adequate amounts of healthy fats, such as omega-3 fatty acids, for proper brain function. These fats are crucial for memory, learning, and mood regulation. Helps with nutrient absorption. Many important vitamins, such as vitamins A, D, E, and K, are fat-soluble, meaning they require fat to be properly absorbed by the body. Eating a diet too low in fat can lead to deficiencies in these essential nutrients. Promotes satiety and weight management. Contrary to popular belief, eating fat can actually help with weight management. Fat is more satiating than carbohydrates, meaning it helps you feel full and satisfied for longer periods. This can lead to reduced overall calorie intake and better weight control. Supports heart health. While trans fats and some saturated fats can be harmful to heart health, other types of fat, such as monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, can actually support heart health. These healthy fats help reduce inflammation, improve cholesterol levels, and decrease the risk of heart disease. It's important to note that not all fats are healthy, and it's still crucial to choose the right types of fat and consume them in moderation. Healthy fat sources include avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, and fatty fish like salmon. By incorporating these healthy fats into our diets and letting go of the fear of all dietary fat, we can support our overall health and well-being. Story 17. Plant-based diets. People think they're deficient in everything from protein to vitamins, while in fact it's virtually impossible to be protein deficient. If you get enough calories, and vegetables are better sources of most vitamins and minerals than animal products. Also very easy to get calcium, iron, omega-3, etc. from plants. Not to mention the best, largest studies on the subject, those that follow tens or hundreds of thousands of people over decades, consistently show that people who follow plant-based diets have better health outcomes and longer lives. Bring on the angry downvotes. Story 18. Heartbreak. I think with the prevalence of dating apps, everyone seems to have become quite systematic about dating and compartmentalizing things as FWB situationships and any number of other labels. That's great, and people should feel free to explore themselves this way and have different types of relationships, but you are a human being and shouldn't be surprised if things impact you emotionally sometimes. It's the risk you take, but it's worth it most of the time, and it makes life exciting. Story 19. Your blood sugar. Spiking after eating certain foods. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. Unless you're diabetic, you need to spend zero time worrying about your blood sugar. Just eat healthy foods and go easy on the junk food and sweets. Story 20. I keep hearing more and more people say that eating fruit is bad because sugar. No, eating sweets made of processed ingredients is bad. Fruit, as with everything in moderation, is good. Fiber, vitamins and minerals, nutrition in something that just grows out there. Good, eat fruit. Story 21. Meat proteins. I can't tell you how many times I've had boomer relatives shame my partner and I for our radical views on meat consumption. They hear meat and immediately think of fat =cholesterol =bad, when the truth is you need protein from meat just as much as any other nutrient food group. Everything is okay in moderation. It's ironically funny because they think we are unhealthy for eating too much meat, even though we don't, while they consume instant ramen, processed canned soups with high sodium, chips, candy, tons of instant processed food, and basically a high processed carb diet. While we try to eat healthy servings of each food group and seldom even touch processed food, but nope, we're the unhealthy ones. Story 22. One thing I've noticed as a nanny is that people don't think it's okay for their infant toddler to chill in their crib alone after a nap. It's actually really healthy and good for them to chill alone in their cribs after they wake from a nap, especially if they aren't distressed about it. The parents will run to get them the moment they pop their eyes open, which eventually makes the kids start crying when they wake, because they expect someone to get them the moment their eyes open. These are also the babies that won't let you out of their sight for a moment. But the ones who are able to chill alone for 10, 20 minutes from the time they are really small, usually just roll around and babble to themselves for 10, 20 minutes before they get upset. And the kids who can chill alone are usually really chill during wake times too. And don't freak out when you leave the room. It's perfectly healthy for your kid to be by themselves even as babies. Story 23. Sunlight. There are specific times of the day where the UV days aren't as damaging. You need vitamin D, you need sunlight. Just don't be lying out there for 3 hours tanning, burning. Story 24. Microwaving food. Not pre-made microwave dinners, but using microwaves as a heating element. A lot of people I know believe that frequently using a microwave can expose you to too much radiation, and food itself can possibly become carcinogenic if you cook it too long in a microwave. Story 25. You know what, I'm gonna say it. Calories. Everyone acts like calories are the worst thing in the world, but they're just the numerical amount of energy a food gives you. There's nothing inherently bad about calories. Story 26. A lot of people still don't differentiate between different types of dietary fats, some of which are very healthy, and some of which are extremely unhealthy. Omegas, saturated, unsaturated, polyunsaturated, trans, etc. I mean, there are still people who think that consuming dietary fat makes you gain fat yourself. The only shred of truth in that being dietary fats can be very dense in calories, when the truth is that no matter what a million fad diets and tabloid magazines tell you, weight loss or gain is a function of how many calories you absorb, vs. how many you expend. No starvation mode, nothing to do with eliminating certain specific things, carbs, protein, salt, whatever, or a million other factors which might have a huge impact on your health in many ways, but which never change the fact of the rather simple equation. Your body burns X calories just in maintenance, you burn Y calories in your activities, and any difference above or below that amount which you absorb either goes to storage or comes out of storage, usually fat. There are no magic calories. Everyone's spent comes from storage if it cannot come from your intake. Story 27. Fruit. Fruit is demonized unnecessarily. Sugar. It doesn't cause cancer. Your liver does not like a nothing but high-fat diet. Keto is for some forms of epilepsy. That's all it is meant for. Story 28. Ice cream. Most of the studies that found the health benefits of yogurt also found them about ice cream. The researchers kept thinking there must have been some error and attempted the research multiple times with the same results. Story 29. Taking prescription medication that you need. It's like wearing my glasses and just fixes a natural imbalance I have that would otherwise cause problems over time. Some people are aghast at the thought of taking a pill every day for the rest of their life, but it gives me a longer rest of my life to live. Story 30. Salt. For years, it's been peddled as extremely unhealthy. But in reality, all it does is increase the amount of water held in your blood, which passively increases your blood pressure slightly. If you're obese and in danger of heart disease, that can make salt an additional risk factor. But for normal people, it's totally fine, and salt is a good thing. The idea that salt is generically bad for you has led to normal people under-consuming salt, particularly vegetarians, which leads to its own long-term health problems. One example is cankles. Low salt levels means your blood can't hold as much water, so it leaks into your tissues and causes swelling. If your blood pressure is low, consume more salt. If your blood pressure is too high, consume less salt. Story 31. Not being productive for an hour, or a whole day, or a week. Sure, routines are important, but through yoga, I learned to sit with myself and escape the screens for a bit. It's insanely hard, but I've learned a lot about what I really want and need for myself by doing so. And I'm sure everyone could use some time disconnected and doing nothing, so here's your reminder. Story 32. Video games. I have ADHD, and it's almost impossible to shut my head up. I can't sit still without doing anything, and I complete my workouts in 45 minutes with still an itch to do something. I never binge, but for the 3 hours I play a video game a night, I literally am free. No constant thoughts or thinking about shit I did in the past or what ifs. Just me and the virtual world. Story 33. I misunderstood this, and was going to answer this with the opposite. In the UK at least, many people think that it's healthy to deal with difficult life situations by just getting on with it. So I guess the opposite of that is, many people think it's unhealthy to actually feel their feelings after difficult events and take time out to grieve and adjust. But that's actually the healthiest thing you can do. Story 34. Fake sugars. Well, I'm not arguing that they're healthy per se, but they are healthier than the alternative. It's very, very easy to drink your calories, and drinking sugary drinks contributes to that. People believe fake sugars are linked to cancer, but just about all of the major health agencies disagree. And while links have been found in animal studies with significant amounts of fake sugar, that's not the case with the human studies to my knowledge. But regardless, even if you assumed there were a moderately increased risk of cancer, the overall risk of cancer is still so small compared to the myriad health issues caused by diabetes, obesity, etc., all linked to sugar intake. Someone recently seriously suggested that I switch my diet soda to a sugar-filled 150 calories per serving black tea concoction that was in its marketing leaning hard into the health angle, when in reality, those extra calories are like objectively worse for you than the Diet Cola. Yes, we could all solely drink water, but being realistic, if drinking fake sugar helps you cut out sugar-filled beverages, you should absolutely do that. Story 35. Having a meat-based paleo diet. It's been proven to actually lower cholesterol and your LDL levels. The high cholesterol usually comes from high-fat food, such as chips and other junk food in the US. Doctors tend to associate high cholesterol with meat because 1. If they tell patients that they should cut back on junk food, no one will support those corporations, and 2. Red meat/pork tends to be salted heavily when seasoning. Story 36. Skipping meals or even going multiple days without any food. Provided you drink enough water and replenish your electrolytes, you can safely fast for as long as you have spare body fat to burn. It's not easy or something that's right for everyone, but it's great for weight loss and reducing insulin resistance. You're probably going to lose some muscle too, but you will gain it back very quickly once you start eating normally again. Story 37. Seeking help for mental health. There's a massive stigma against people who see a shrink, and it needs to stop. Mental health care is healthcare. You don't tell someone with a broken leg to not let it bother them. You don't tell someone with cancer to just stop thinking about it and it'll go away. You don't tell someone with diabetes, well, have you just tried not being diabetic? Until we remove the stigma around seeking help, people will continue to avoid it, and it's not healthy. Story 38. Video games. Studies have shown that in moderation, gaming can actually improve brain function and focus, as well as problem-solving skills. It becomes unhealthy when it becomes an addiction. Story 39. Giving up and letting go. Giving up on the constant preparation for the next level to this game we call being a grown-up. It's a hoax. There is no next level, only here and now. You don't need to spend years of your life striving for the thing over there. Give up on this idea that you are required to make something of yourself. It's not real. Story 40. GMOs. They're in general neither healthier nor less healthy than other food, but people are so scared of them. And some of them are healthier, like golden rice, which could have helped millions of people in developing countries avoid blindness due to vitamin A deficiency, if it wasn't for Greenpeace and other activists who fight against it. Story 41. Cutting off family members who are toxic, abusive, or causing you pain. I haven't spoken to my sibling in 4 years and don't plan to for a very, very long time. The amount of people that tell me, but family is blood, you can't cut them off, is wild. Or people who say something like, wow, I couldn't imagine not speaking to my sibling. I'm glad people don't all have siblings like mine, but their words offer zero solace or support. Story 42. Regular old table salt. Talking the iodized Morton stuff that costs like $1 for a container the size of your head. You need iodide. Without it, your thyroid won't function properly, and can even shut down if you let the deficit go on for long enough. It's not less healthy or full of nasty chemicals when compared to sea salt or pink salt or whatever specialty salt is currently doing the rounds as the healthy salt getting pushed by crunchy granola hippies. In moderation, it is not only completely safe, but provides more nutrition than the alternatives. The same goes for MSG. It's no more dangerous for you than plain salt. While it does count as sodium intake, it is completely safe and delicious. Story 43. I'll say it 1,000 times. Having a cleaning routine. Being clean and neat does not mean you have OCD. It's only when the behavior becomes obsessive, compulsive, and/or disorderly that it becomes unhealthy. If you actually do feel better after cleaning your room, then you did something right. Story 44. Your body changing after having a baby. I changed, drastically changed, and that's with strength training regularly. I like how I look more post-babies, but the expectation to get back to achieve a flat tummy is kinda unrealistic, especially if you have multiple kids. Sometimes your body just doesn't want to do that no matter how hard you try. It's more important to be happy with how you look, and that your hubby loves your body too, assuming you're in a healthy relationship.